Sounds good.
There we go, and good evening everyone, and welcome to lecture number 3 on Blar13042. As I said, tonight we're just going to have a quick look at the professional organizations and then discuss the questions that you might have for tomorrow's assessment items due tomorrow. So you still have at least one day and a few hours to play around with that. Alright, so let's move straight into it, and we'll see exactly how effective the system is tonight. I'm trying a new setup again. Last week we crashed, so this week I'm going to try something different. So tonight we're looking at the different associations. So just by a show of hands, maybe on the tick boxes, who of you guys belong to professional organizations? If you can give me a yes or a no by just clicking on that. Alright, so you guys all belong. Alright, so I'm just going to wrap a few of these organizations. Who belongs to the AIB? Alright, so I'll clear that. So who belongs to the AIB? If you can give me an indication again. No one? Alright, so that's obviously not a good organization to belong to. Who belongs to the AIBS? Alright, so there we've got a few. Actually only Julia, you belong there. So Kent, you guys, BDAQ? Anyone? Alright, nobody else. Alright, so which other organizations do you guys belong to then? If it's not one of those, alright, so, okay, we'll talk about the project management guys just now, and the Institute for Quantity Surveyors. Alright, that's quite impressive. So how did you get into there, Kent? Is it because of something that you did previously, a previous job? All right, you can type away, and we'll catch up with that little message as soon as you type it. All right, so your employer pays for that. All right, so that's good. Yeah, I must say it is quite expensive, but as students, you guys should get good deals. All right, so if we look at
AIBS student members are free, as far as I'm aware, or I'm not paying anything.
Yeah, the student membership on the AIBS is free. So let's just jump ahead to that slide. There we go. Yes, the AIBS is free. The only real one in Australia that's charging a lot of money for membership is the AIB. I spoke to them today when I made this slide, and with the lady there, Sally Allen, we do a lot of work together, and I said, do you realize that the AIB is the only organization that charges money for student memberships? And she reckons, yes, they do know it, but as soon as you sign up, you get a nice super colored fluoro jacket and a hard hat, so that
bribing people to join their organization.
That's right. So incidentally, I'm doing a lot of accreditations of other universities for the AIB at the moment, so I'll see what I can do and see, because we really need to get our membership up a little bit better. I don't think anybody at CTU belongs to the AIB at the moment. So we'll have a look at those. All right, so let's just go back to that first slide of ours, and there we go. All right, so there's a few of these. There's both private and industry organizations that we can belong to, and then of course there's always a cost associated with this. So you guys might have seen that behind my logo on my email, I've got the letters FIB. So I'm a fellow of the Australian Institute of Building, and it doesn't come cheap. I must say, for what I get a lot of spam emails, and that's about it. That's about the level of service that I get for my $555 a year. It's a big price to pay, and the university is not keen on paying for that. So the upside of it is, of course, the networking opportunities. Since moving to New South Wales, I've become a little bit more active, and if you guys live in a big city like Cairns or Townsville or even Brisbane, those places, it's a lot easier to get around with than say in Rockhampton. Rockhampton, there's just nothing happened over there, so it was really difficult to get anything going. So the big thing there is obviously the networking opportunities for us. So who of you guys have got accounts on or profiles on LinkedIn? Just a show of hands again. I've got one there. All right, so Julia, you also have one. Yep, I think most of you guys, Kent, you don't have one, and Timothy as well. All right, so that's quite a, the moment you start looking for jobs and starting to network, let's say you want to, it's basically a 3 to 6 month type thing that you want to do, start moving jobs or something like that. LinkedIn would be a good place to start and, just get a profile. In the States, for instance, if you work in the States and you're applying for a job, that's the first thing that they'll go and do. They'll go and check out and see if you've got a LinkedIn account. If you don't have one, they'll, the employment agencies will just tell you to get one. And there's a specific format that they like, and all the employers in the States, they typically use those very effectively. So yeah, my profile is also on there. It's not the best one. I better at some point in time see if I can update it. All right, so again, there's different types of organizations. There's local organizations, the different cities, regional, in central Queensland. A lot of the AIB activities and the AIBS activities were run by local chapters, which weren't really effective because there's just not enough feet to get things going. As soon as you start moving into the metros, obviously, it gets a lot better. And of course, they operate on different levels. So you'll get a AIBS chapter, which is Queensland and New South Wales, and you'll get all the different states, and all of them will have different chapters, and basically duplicating services across the line. And then of course there might be an overall body taking care of that. So the best example there would be the BDAQ, which is for our design students. That's the Building Designers Association of Queensland, and of course the BDAA, which sits on top of that one, is the Building Designers Association of Australia. So that one takes care of that. So there's just an example of changes in names. The AIB, AIBS, those guys, they tend to keep the name the same, just have different chapters. There's also commercial organizations. We'll talk about those a little bit later on. And we'll just mention a few advisory ones. Interest groups, special interest groups. You most probably, when you go to your next cocktail party on a Friday afternoon in the Sydney Harbour, or maybe at the Sunny Bank Institute or somewhere there, people will start talking about SIGs, the special interest groups. It's basically just people focusing on risk management, maybe procurement within the organization. So there's benefits if that's your thing. If you want to get involved with procurement, my thing is contract strategy and procurement in oil and gas industry. So I belong to those groups and I play in that sandpit. And you do pick up a lot of contacts. You do pick up a lot of information from other members, especially if you're new to the area, especially if you're new to the industry. It helps to make friends there. So if we look at the ones that's available to us at the moment, we've spoken about the AIB. They must have the worst website ever. It's not been updated for ages, and I've been trying to get them to do that. But they do charge $45 a year. Now, the last time I spoke to their membership people, they were going to offer it for us for $40 a year as an incentive. And if there's a few of you guys that might want to join, we might still be able to get that deal. And remember, you get that fancy fluoro shirt that's like you can see it, from the space. Let's see if I can get a little yellow line there. So it's really, really bright. You get all of that for $40, and then of course you also get the safety helmet, which I'm sure will only set you back about $10 at Bunnings. The AIBS, so Julia, you reckon you're a member though? You don't pay anything, eh? That's a free membership?
No, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so what do you get for that free membership? Have you been to the CPD events? Have you been to the classes that Daryl presents at all? Have you done anything out of the ordinary? Have you got any benefit from them?
Probably, there's plenty that they put on, but I haven't actually taken taken the benefit from that. I've just I have attended some of the sessions that Daryl has done. You know, like the lunchtime sessions he does.
Okay.
We've done that through work, and that's about it. Oh, you get newsletters, you get the tabs. Oh
yeah, the tabs magazine.
And then yeah, just little bits and pieces that come in the mail. For like there was the one, I think one that came through was a little card that helps you measure the thickness of glass. If you put it on the angle,
right, yeah.
and it's got the dots and that sort of thing, and it tells you how thick the glass is.
And that's really handy when you work in an office.
So, and that's about it. That's about all I've taken benefit from. So.
All right. So, Kent, you mentioned earlier on that you've got a member. Thanks for that, Julia. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what the benefits are for everyone. Kent, you mentioned earlier that you belong to the Project Management Australian Institute of Project Management and also the Quantity Surveyors. If you can give us an indication, do you get anything from them for being a member there? Is it worth it, or is it just basically you get a lot of spam email from them, and like Julia said, a lot of marketing material wants to do the post every now and again? That's basically the AIB has got an organization which they call the Young Builders Alliance, which is the YBA, which operates extensively in the metro area. So if you're close to Brisbane, if you work in Perth, they've got a big one there. In Adelaide, they've got a big one there as well, and obviously in Sydney, which is focused on young graduates or people that's basically from their second year onwards. So typically you guys would be perfect for that. I'm not sure if the other organizations, I don't think the IIBS has got a lot in that space. All right, so Kent reckons you get a lot of spam emails, and they have a lot of scheduled seminars. All right, but you haven't, because yeah, it's the personal. It's difficult if you live in a regional area, and that's the trouble that I also had when I lived in Rockhampton. It's difficult to align your personal circumstances with the available times. You'll get an email on Wednesday evening to say, oh, there's a breakfast Friday morning at the Brisbane Hospital construction site. Meet us on site at 7, and by 10 we'll be finished. You can't just quickly jump on a plane and fly to Brisbane to have breakfast with a bunch of other guys. So it's not always practical. All right, there's somebody else mentioned the ACAA. Julia, what's the ACAA?
It's the association, it's access consultants, basically.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's definitely the space that you play in with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how many members do they have?
They've
do you know?
got a couple of hundred, I believe, and then they've got various chapters. So I know that the Victorian chapter is very active. The Queensland one is reasonably active, but I don't think that they're as active as the Victorian chapter. So, and I've attended a few of the events that they've had through work and stuff like that. I just went to one on Friday actually.
I think this is one that's going to be interesting to see develop, because with the laws changing 1428, I think a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon. A while ago, Daryl and I looked at getting involved in designing online courses and stuff. And I think, Julia, at that stage we did ask you for your opinion, and we wanted to know exactly from a cash flow percentage, how much people will join, because for the university, if we start developing courses and programs, we need fees to take it. And at that stage, we couldn't get it going because we couldn't find enough people in the market to do it. So it would be interesting to see how your specific market grows. I mean, in years to come.
There is
All right,
sorry, I was just going to say there is a training that you can do through the IATA, and I can't think of what that exactly stands for. Institute of Access Training Australia, and that's actually run by some of the people in the Victorian chapter of the ACAA. And
okay, all right.
And yeah, they do some 2-day courses, and they do some 10-day courses, and that will get you to the point where you can, it's not so much be accredited as an access consultant, but you've got the ability then to, because you've got to then sit in the, you've got to sit a review panel and have worked in the industry for so long before you can become an accredited access consultant.
Okay.
So, but it goes a long way towards doing it. But anyone can do the course. The 10-day course, I think, is about $6,000.
All right, so thanks for that. Yeah, that's something about these organizations is basically all of them are free to join once you're a student. And you know, the RBS, AI, the DAQ, all of these guys, they won't charge you, you know, as long as you're a student. But the moment you start graduating, you have to start paying, you know, tremendous fees, and you have to go through, like you say, an interview panel, and you have to submit a portfolio. For me to join the ARB, I also had to go through these interviews, and I had to submit the last 10 years worth of project work that I did. There is one organization though that I used to belong to as well a while ago. It's PMI, and these guys have, you know, they've got a cash model in mind, because they will allow anybody to join the Project Management Institute and take, you know, your money, because they know that, you know, a lot of people want to be members of professional organizations and they don't necessarily have the right qualifications. So interestingly enough, yeah, you can join as a student for $42 a year for the first year, and then $32 after that. But the moment you start going into, as soon as you graduate, it's $140 to join the organization, and if you want to join the Australian chapter, it's another $60 per year that you have to fork up for that. Right. And they are prolific publishers of junk mail. So you do get the PMBOK, which is a nice, you know, nice sort of project management body of knowledge. It goes through, you know, the 9 knowledge areas, and it's a really nice book to have on your shelf, and you do get that for free once you sign up. All right, so what's the benefits? Basically, it's all about, in our world, in our organizations that we work in, it's not about who we are or what we can do, it's basically who we know. All right, so these organizations are typically all designed for networking opportunities and for making it easier for you guys to find other jobs. They do have regular CPD events. For the most of our sort of class contingent, you know, the CPD events is difficult to attend because we all work in regional areas, Townsville and Rockhampton and those areas, and it's just too difficult to get to the big cities to do that. They also do have international tours. All right, so instead of going on a nice holiday with your family, you might go on an international tour with people you don't really like and people that you don't want to really see for 24 hours a day and pay a lot of money for that. So you can also go that route if you want. AIB has got a nice new international study tour coming up reasonably soon. I think it's April next year to New Zealand. It's on their website, and yeah, go and have a look at that if you guys are into that type of thing. Lots of networking opportunities again, if you do decide to go onto that one. All right, so if we look at the role of these organizations, it's all about the profession, supposedly. Right? They are there supposed to promote the profession, make sure that you know, only the right people get into that specific job. In our industry, it becomes a little bit more intricate because we've got different licensing schemes. Right? So we've got the 3 levels for building surveyors, their licenses, and then we've got the different levels. We've got 2 levels for the designers, and then we also have the 2 levels for our construction managers, or the building licenses. So those are the things that we have to keep in mind. Something else that makes it even more intricate for us is that each of the different states, so if we go to New South Wales, we might need license number 1. If we go to Victoria, we might need license number 2, because in Australia these licenses are not yet aligned. So specifically, the building surveyors and the open building licenses are not aligned across Australia. Another role that these guys, as always, if you guys have any comment to add, just type away in the chat window. We'll pick it up from there, and we'll discuss it. Something else that we can say about these guys is they're supposed to have the best interests at heart for our profession in terms of government. All right, so a lot of these organizations do have offices in Canberra. The AIB has got their head office just down the road from the Parliament House, so they do go there regularly, sit with the ministers and swap credit card numbers for illicit deals. Basically, what they're supposed to do is promote our profession to the industry, right, and have our best interests at heart. There's also encouragement for research and technology. So a lot of these CRC grants, these collaborative research organizations, they'll be in there to see if they can come up with new technologies and research. Something that makes our profession a little bit slow moving is the fact that it's not like biology where there's new technologies every year or new developments every year. A brick is a brick, and cement is cement, and steel is steel. And it takes a long time to develop a new technology to build a house. So it's not something that's fast moving like any of the other ones. An implication for the education sector is the introduction of TEXA, the tertiary qualifications Association of Australia, and TEXA is going to start working with all of these organizations over here to make sure that all the degree programs and associate degree programs, diplomas and associate diplomas are accredited according to the right standards. So when TEXA comes into power, that's going to be a good thing, because it will sort of haphazard way standardize the qualifications around Australia. So that's the tertiary education's qualification of Australia. So we'll see how that goes. That one has a big implication for what we do at the university. If we look at the commercial organizations, the master builders, for anybody that's in the CQ29 Bachelor of Construction Management program, the master builders is a good organization to every now and again go and have a look at. They're really out there in the market. They've got professional excellence awards more in the regional areas than, for instance, the AIB. The master builders, for instance, have a local chapter in Rockhampton that meets every month, and they do fun stuff and identify nice building projects or houses and give out prizes and stuff like that. All right, so the HIA is closed in Rocky. I didn't know that, Tim. So did that close down quite recently, or is it a long time thing? Okay, cool. I actually never got any contact out of them. I did speak to the guys from the Master Builders Association. They were quite keen on collaboration. So as I say, these guys and the IRB, if you're in construction management, that's basically the two organizations that you're going to have a look at. All right, so the Civil Contractors Federation. Yep. Julia, did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Now, I just thought I heard somebody wanted to say something. The Civil Contractors Federation engineers typically belong to these, or earthworks contractors, those guys. It's sort of a detective organization, overarching agreements that looks at their benefits and their interests. All right, so there we go. That's basically just a short overview of what we wanted to do tonight. I said we were going to try and keep it to under 30 minutes, so it's not bad. I think we came in at about 27. So I'm quite happy about that. I know you guys want to go and study and complete those assignments. So have you got any questions on what we did tonight and or maybe the assessment items?
I'm all good, thanks.
All right, so you're all good, all right, and nobody else. I can see Tim, you typing something, nothing, all right. So remember when I spoke about the the student principle, and I'll see if I can draw it over here. So when I introduced the assessment items, this is your enthusiasm, and then it sort of died down, and sort of plateaued out. And now on the Tuesday night, before it's due, it's doing that. So there we go. That's the student principle. And of course, we also think of Parkinson. Parkinson's law says that an activity will grow to the size of the allowable time, which means that if you have 6 weeks to complete an assessment item, it will take exactly 6 weeks to do that assessment item. So there's specific reasons why you guys are still busy, and you can blame it on Parkinson's law, if nothing else. Yes, we won't talk about the cricket at all. Let me just draw a frowny face. That is a frowny face over there. Not happy about the team's performance. In fact, I was born in Zimbabwe, so for all practical purposes tonight I am Zimbabwean and not South African. How's that? Put that in your
differentiate.
Okay.
Sorry, Josh. I could be funny too. That's all.
No, I must say the team has not been performing as well as they should have. But it's ups and downs. I'm sure we'll kick your asses again in rugby or something like that.
Yeah. You beat India.
All right, cool.
Sorry, mate.
All right, cool, excellent. All right, if you guys don't have any other questions, we might call it a night and make it an early one. And yeah, think about a few questions if you like for the next one. Remember, we don't have a class next week. We only have it after another week, so 2 weeks from tonight we'll have another session. So if you have any questions by then on the next assessment items, be sure to put them in the questions and answers forum, and I'll see if I can provide with some feedback there. I'll also try and see if I can get you the results for the assessment item that's due tomorrow night by then, so that you can have something to think about before the next one is due. All right, so anything else? There was something else that I wanted to chat with you guys about, and I think it was about assessment number 4, the online quiz. Who of you guys think that we are doing too much in this course? If you can show me a yes or a no. Are you just being opportunistic?
Sometimes the weekly,
yes.
The articles and that, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, but I find that they tend to, choke me up a bit.
Take too much time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, the thing with the weekly articles is I'm trying to find a solution to the workbooks, because I think the workbooks have now finally reached their sell-by date, and it's time to move on to something else. So I'm thinking of retiring out the workbooks, and I'm trying to find an easy way to add assessments so that we can still have that and engagement and see, talk about team management and all of those things. So that's the idea behind the the placements. Yeah, I agree, Kent, and that's basically the feedback that we've been receiving from most of this, from the other students, because I'm running it in this course, 13042, and also construction management 1. I've got the same thing going over there.
Josh, if I could just say something, I would rather do the weekly assessments any day than another workbook, because that's just like having 4 assignments and you're either trying to cram it in at the end or cutting your nose off to spite your face for the course.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, no, it's true what you're saying. You know, I find that it's that last little bit of the assessment items, it just crams up everybody, and you sort of do a rush job, and it's not good quality, and it frustrates me because I have to read all of it, and I'm not happy. And you know, if we do it, I think and that's the idea that I had, is if we can get weekly submissions from everybody, it might be a solution for us to make it easier on you guys as well, because if you take more than, say, 25 minutes to do a write-up, or let's say 30 minutes max, you know, I think you might be overthinking it. Keep it nice
yeah,
and
I
short.
think maybe I am.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, so yeah, go for it.
So unfortunately, I've still got a bit of that old workbook habit where I just can't give a response. I've got to give a detailed response. And I find that the questions you're posing are a simplified question which can be answered quite easily in that 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm starting to get out of that guarded habit, but it's nothing worse than having to write reams and reams of dribble just to satisfy, just to fill up reams of blank paper. And that's what the workbooks certainly do. So this system is, as far as I'm concerned, is a lot easier than the workbook system and much more manageable.
Okay. All right. No, thanks for that. That's good news. So we'll keep on monitoring the process. I think what we'll do is we'll let the quiz at the end of the course slide. I won't apply the quiz. I think what we'll do is we'll do the 12 collaborative articles that you've done. We've got the other assessment that's in already. And, let's leave it at that. I think we don't want to over-assess style item. So, yeah, there's some good news for you guys. I'll just draw another little face there. All right, cool. Excellent, everyone. No more questions. We might call it a night. Thanks, Tim. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, thanks very much, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julia. See you guys. Bye. All right. Cheers, mate. Bye.